In this video, I'm going to show you how to install this Tado thermostat. Now, I'm working on a Vaillant, but this video will apply to most Combi boilers. And I'm going to give you an entire walkthrough of everything. Unboxing, doing the wiring, setting it all up on your phone. This video gives you absolutely everything you need to install this thermostat. So when we open the box, the first thing we see is the thermostat. We're going to put that to the side. Then we've got our internet bridge, which allows us to use our thermostat from our phone. And at the bottom of the box, we've got the receiver. Now, the one thing I really like about Tado is they give you everything you need, even the cable. So all you need is a flathead screwdriver and then probably some wire cutters if you're going to trim down the cable. Now, the first thing we're going to do is assemble this internet bridge, which is super simple. You're just going to get the plug. It's only going to sit in flat one way. When it goes in, you're going to twist it 90 degrees. It will lock in place. That's ready to go. Then we've got two cables that needs to be connected. This one is the power cable and the second is the Ethernet cable. Then you're going to take the other side of the Ethernet cable, plug it into the back of your router and then connect your plug. Next, we're going to wait for all of the three lights to finish flashing and go to a solid light. When that's done, we're then going to hold that top right button until it starts flashing. Now we're going to grab our phone, go over to the App Store or the Play Store or whatever you call it on your phone. I've got an iPhone. We're going to download the Tado app, create an account, click continue. Then you're going to enter in all your information. Then press agree. Select Tado devices option, click continue. Click continue. Then just click on use my location. Then you're going to pick whatever name you want to identify the phone that you're using now. I'm just going to type in my phone. Click share location. If you don't like it, you can always turn it off in the settings later. Click allow. Now we're going to head over to settings at the bottom. Click add device. It's going to ask you to access your camera. You're just going to scan the QR code on your wireless receiver. And that's that done. Now we need to do the same thing to our internet bridge. So go over to your internet bridge, click allow, scan the QR code, press register device, click continue, continue, press continue one more time. It's then going to say the wireless receiver is offline. That's because we now need to wire the receiver. To open up the receiver, we've got one screw at the bottom we need to loosen, then the front case will lift off. Then we're going to remove this cable clamp. Now, in terms of the wiring, Tado give you a wiring diagram to follow. For this video, I'm going to be using the Gas Engineer's Bible because I've got a general guide on how to wire any thermostat. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to loosen the terminals that we need to gain access to. So neutral, live, COM, and NO. Then we're going to put the cables in their respective places. So blue in neutral, brown in live, tighten those up. Black in COM, tighten that up. Gray in NO, tighten that up, and then we can put on our cable clamp. Now we can put the front cover back on, tighten up that screw, and feed the cable through the boiler. Now it's really important that if you're working on a boiler where you make your own hole to insert the cable, that you don't cut the hole too big, as you want the seal around the cable to be tight to keep the boiler room sealed. And before you touch any of the electrics, do your safe isolation to the boiler. Now we can remove this plastic cover to gain access to the PCB. Now, as we're wiring this as 24 volts, for this particular Vaillant boiler, they're in two different places. So I'm going to have to strip back the sheath a little bit more to be able to get my cables where they need to go. And there you go. Now everything reaches. Next, we can loosen the connections for the neutral and the live. Then we can insert our neutral. Then our live. And then tighten those two connections up. Then give all of the cables a gentle pull to make sure they're secure. Now, if you don't have an existing thermostat, then you're going to have a link. So mine is here on this 24 volt. I'm going to remove that. If you have an existing thermostat, then just remove those cables and replace them with these cables. However, if you're working on a boiler that's different to this and you're unsure where the cables go, just Google that boiler's name, type in manufacturer's instructions, and all the information you need will be there. Okay, now that those cables are done, we can clamp that cable down so it's not going to go anywhere. Close this panel and we can turn the boiler on. So you should have one solid light on the receiver. Now head to your internet bridge, make sure it's still flashing. Then if your receiver isn't flashing already, hold down the Wi-Fi button and then it will start flashing. And now the internet bridge and the receiver will just automatically connect, and you know when they've connected when it starts flashing so fast. So now if we head over to the app, tap on settings, which is on the bottom row, click on receiver, and you'll see it's now connected. So now the last thing we need to connect is the thermostat. So click on add device, scan the code on your thermostat, click register device, and then we're just going to follow the instructions from here. So we're going to open up the thermostat, remove all of the packaging, and we're going to remove the little tab that's stopping the batteries from making a connection with the thermostat. Then tap continue, and then we're going to go to the thermostat and push and hold the bottom right button for 3 seconds. Now this process can take up to 2 minutes, so I'm going to speed up the video. And there you go, it's done. You know it's done when the two little links stay together. So if we go back to our app, it says it's connected. We can click continue, then click view installation instructions. It will show you where to put your thermostat. I'm leaving mine loose for now, so I'm gonna skip that. So now if we go to our thermostat, we push the button, we turn the temperature up. Let go. The boiler should fire up. Now, one thing about Tado I've noticed is sometimes there can be quite a big delay in terms of you turning the heating on and then the receiver actually receiving that and then turning the boiler on. It can take up to 5 minutes, I've heard, and I think it's something to do with a safety device. They don't want the boiler turning on and off too frequently. So if you're trying to turn the heating on and off but the boiler isn't receiving a demand straight away, give it a few more minutes, it should work. But with mine, you can see I've turned it off. It's taken a little while for that light to go off. There you go, it's off. We've lost demand to the boiler and it's all working. Now let's suppose the heating was on and you wanted to turn it off from your phone. Just go to the app, slide the temperature down till it says off. You can see we've lost the light on the receiver, the boiler's turned off, everything's working as it should. Now I'll probably make a separate video going into how to set up the programs and all of that good stuff. I just feel like there's some people who already have this thermostat and want to know how to use it and they don't want to watch a whole video on the installation. So keep an eye out for the next video in terms of how to use it, but all the instructions are really easy. But if you don't want the instructions and you just want an excuse to listen to my voice some more, then I'll post another video.